All right, great. I will begin then. Welcome everyone to the Q&A for the vice chair position. SBA presidents, ABA reps, and law student liaisons will go on record with ABA and will be voting for 6 positions, including this one, on April 17th through 19th. So those who are watching this later will need to watch their emails for an electronic ballot and can also visit abaforlawstudents.com/elections to see candidates' resumes and position statements. For our candidates, the format of this Q&A, it should last probably no more than 30 minutes. You'll each first get 2 minutes to give an opening statement, introducing yourself, giving brief remarks. After that, I'll ask you a series of questions pulled from members of the council and the assembly, and you'll each have a chance to answer the question. Please limit responses to a minute. Leftover time does not carry over, and Zach will be monitoring the time. If one of you mentions another candidate while speaking, that candidate will have a chance to respond, and we will randomly select who goes first, rotating who goes first for each question thereafter. And then finally, you'll each give a chance to give a 1-minute closing statement. So we will start with our opening statements. Lynette, if you'd like to go first. I think you're still muted.
That helps. Can you guys hear me now? Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Lynette Richardson. I'm a student at Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, I know that there's a lot going on right now, and so for everyone to be on this call or this Zoom call is a big deal. With that being said, I think that this is a prime opportunity for the ABA to capitalize on the demand or the need that's going to be obviously apparent within the law school community. So law schools across the nation are experiencing a change, just like everything else that's going on in the nation right now. And so everyone is transitioning over to online communication, online learning, and the ABA has the opportunity to bridge the gap that people are seeking. Everyone is seeking a leader, even within the law school community, of where do we go and what do we do? The ABA has the capacity to answer those questions, the resources to share with individuals so that we can feel more comfortable about what our law school experience is going to be. And so I'm running for vice chair because I know that the ABA has this ability, and I know that I can lead this charge within the law school community. So hopefully I can get your support in that journey. Thank you. Someone's on mute speaking though.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Taylor, you can go next.
Can you all hear me now? Yes, okay. My name is Taylor Kern. I'm a current first-year student at Campbell University Law. I attended East Carolina University for both my undergraduate and my master's in business. And then I worked at the Entrepreneurial Initiative at ECU while working on my master's, helping entrepreneurs turn their ideas into businesses and running all of the events for the department. The last 5 years before law school, I worked for a startup managing and negotiating all of their contracts, running government contracting, and overseeing company-wide projects and change management for the executive suite. My history with startups and entrepreneurs had really fed into my passion for innovation and led to my involvement with groups like Legal Hackers and the Business Law Society on my campus. I think that events like this, like what we are currently experiencing, are exactly what give the ABA an incredible opportunity to innovate and an incredible opportunity to expand their communication platforms and what they're currently doing to lead the legal society. My hope is that in a position of vice chair that I would be able to expand our communication, expand the innovation that's already currently happening within the ABA.
Great, thank you so much. Now to start, just some initial opening questions. And Taylor, I'll let you go first on this one. The first question is, why are you interested in this particular role as opposed to other law student division positions?
What really interested me the most in this role was the opportunity to have such a huge impact on members. I think that the membership that the ABA has is what ends up creating the community and the environment that is the ABA. And so being able to have such a huge impact on that, to be able to have an impact on law students across the nation is, to me, a really incredible thing. It's something that I feel very strongly about and I really want to be involved in. I also think that my past experience working with students at East Carolina University with different events for the Entrepreneurial Initiative and working with the executive suite and across different companies, I think feeds really well into the position.
Thank you. Lynette, you can go next.
Well, the reason that I chose this position is because I try to be very, very thoughtful in where I put my time and my efforts. So I want to put it into a place that kind of is the one-stop shop. And ABA is just that. It has a little bit of everything that touches everybody. So the other portion that is important to me is diversity and inclusion. And when I was researching different organizations to be involved in and to take leadership roles in, the ABA kind of stood out. It stood out because I could, if I'm within the LGBTQ plus community or its ally, find something that was for me. If I'm a woman that is seeking to be a woman in law, it has something for me. Or a woman of color also has something for me. I know also that my past experiences leading an organization and a national chairwoman of a sorority will be kind of critical in leading as a vice chair as well. I've had the opportunity in that capacity to work with membership across the nation in a remote capacity, which is very similar to what the role here would be.
Thank you. Well, that does feed into our next question. So Lynette, you can go first on this one. Is what previous leadership experience do you have within the ABA and outside of the ABA? Then how does that relate to this position?
Thank you. So to continue where I left off, being a national chairwoman of an organization and doing that remote work, I know what it looks like to effectively work within a team that is across the nation in communities that serve within that team as well. And so I would use those skills that I've acquired over the past 5 years working in that capacity as well.
Great, thank you. Taylor?
I don't have any experience working with the ABA specifically in leadership roles because as a first-year student, you're not really allowed to be in leadership roles. But I do have previous work experience with being in leadership. I, at my last company, led company-wide projects and change management, having to work with heads of different departments to implement new initiatives. I also ran government contracting for my company, which meant that I had to work with different heads of different branches of the government, everyone from, staff sergeants up to the government over medical command of the Army and Army Reserves. So I have a strong background in working with executive suite and working in leadership roles and also in guiding people towards getting to the final goal that we're working towards.
Great. Next question is, what is, I guess this could be altered right now, but what is the most serious issue facing law students you would like to see tackled within the ABA Law Student Division? I'm sorry, Taylor, you can go first on this one.
Oh, okay. I think obviously the most immediate one right now is the situation with the coronavirus. I think that's something that's impacting not only law students, but our society as a whole. And it leaves open a huge gap and a question for law students of what's going to happen through to the end of the semester, into the summer, and into next year. I think that's an issue that definitely needs to be addressed. I think big picture, historically, an issue, maybe not like hugely historically, but within the past few years, an issue has been membership and finding ways to increase membership in a society that's increasingly digital, in an age that's increasingly digital, when we have so much information at our fingertips and there's so much that you can just Google and find, and there's so many people that you can just find around you. What really is going to be a challenge for the ABA is finding a way to stand out amongst all the information that people are inundated with day in and day out.
Great. Annette?
Yes, I think that one of the major issues with that being said of everything that's going on is mental health. As being a former mental health professional, it is extremely important for me, a part of any organization, particularly now with the virus, to make sure that we are a resource, that people have the resources that they need in such a stressful environment. On every level, that's our leadership, that's just law schools in general within that leadership, and just membership across the board. So really pushing forward that progressive agenda and eliminating the stigma that is associated with it.
And building off of that, what do you think was the most, and Lynette, you can go first this time, what do you think was the most valuable or significant issue that the ABA Law Student Division had this past year, and why?
Significant issue?
Yes.
Okay. And so I will also speak to membership. I think that the membership issue is still prevalent there, but as I mentioned in my opening statement, this is the opportunity where the ABA can say, here we are, and this is what we have to offer you. And so getting with all the online situations and people moving to online learning, really capitalizing on partnerships within the law schools is going to be key, because if we have the leadership within the law schools working with the ABA to help with the online learning and deliver resources, then I think that we can eliminate that membership issue, because they can't go to their everyday organizations on campus, and they'll need a different avenue to be engaged.
Absolutely. Taylor?
I would agree with what Lynette said. I think driving membership is the biggest issue that the ABA faces. As I was saying before, you know, we're in an increasingly digital age where we have so much information at our fingertips. I think what sets the ABA apart is person-to-person communication, having the reps at campus, having somebody there to talk to, because there's so much that the ABA offers. It's sometimes difficult to understand, and it takes a little bit more time for me to research what really makes it the best fit for me. Whereas if I just have a conversation with someone on my campus, they can very quickly and easily see, oh, this is what your need is, and this is exactly how the ABA can meet it. And in a 2-minute conversation, I can be sold on joining the ABA and becoming a member. Whereas it would take me, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes of digging online and take a little bit more effort on my part. By making it as easy as possible for students to become members, you end up gaining more membership. And by communicating those benefits clearly.
Thank you. What is an area of innovation beyond policy initiatives that you think the ABA Law Student Division should look into? Taylor, you can go first.
I think new ways of communicating are really important. I think what really sets the ABA apart outside of just the resources that are online is the community that it creates, but finding ways to create that community, not just on a campus, but nationwide, is key for the ABA, because that is what it offers, is a nationwide network of fellow students, professional contacts, future contacts, that are there to support you and help you throughout your current career as a student and your future career. So finding ways to make that network an easy one to communicate across the nation rather than just on campus, I think would be huge.
Thank you. Lynette?
Yes, can you repeat the question for me, please?
Yes. What is an area of innovation beyond policy initiatives that you think the ABA Law Student Division should look into?
Oh, okay. So the area would be kind of communication as well, but utilizing social media platforms to communicate with people and more interactive website, because we're just in a day and age where people want to get their information quickly, and they want to know that the resources that they can have are at the touch of their fingertips. So being able to get the ABA access on my phone, maybe via an app, with what is available, information. And I really believe in interactive communication, which is why I took the opportunity to do a video statement, because I know that people want more than just words on paper. They want interaction, and I hope to bring that as vice chair, a more interactive communication throughout the nation.
Great, thank you. I loved your video. It was awesome. What kind of research did you do about this role that you're pursuing? Did you speak with anyone who currently holds or has previously held this position? And then from that information that you gathered, why do you think you are best suited for this role? Lynette, you can go first.
I did reach out to the president vice chair for this to get a better understanding of what this role is, and she gave me some good feedback, which I really appreciated, and she was very prompt in her response. So her highlights were that the trips that she went on were very exciting and then she enjoyed them, or that the meetings that she had with the LSD, she said that some of the challenge were providing resolutions or proposing or different type of support across the nation with the law students. And then finally, she says you get what you put into it. And I think that goes with any leadership opportunity. So I really appreciate her giving me that candid advice and an honest experience.
Great, thank you. Taylor?
I did not speak with anybody, but I did, as a millennial, of course, do a lot of Googling on previous events and things that the vice chair had been involved in. And I saw that it's a role that has an incredible impact on the ABA, but also on students and their future. I think that with my experience working with entrepreneurs, working with different potential investors, and working with students in my past, would be able to communicate effectively with students and be able to listen to their needs, listen to what it is that they're really looking for, and find creative ways to meet those needs.
Great, thank you. What is your understanding of the time commitment involved with this position? And then what are your priorities and commitments for the coming year, and what priority will be given to your ABA position should you be elected? Taylor, you can go first.
My understanding is that it takes anywhere from 20 to 40 hours in a given month. I, at this time, really don't have any other commitments for the next year outside of obviously being a law student. So the ABA would be my top priority. Even if there were other organizations that I eventually became involved with, the ABA would always be my top priority because I recognize that the opportunity to have an impact on students across the nation is a huge responsibility, and it's not one to be taken lightly.
Thank you. Lynette?
Yes. In speaking with the current vice chair and also doing some research online, it seems that there's a significant amount of hours that it could vary. So depending on the task or working hand in hand with the chair, whatever task that the chair has assigned you, but also whatever's going on in the environment. As far as approaching maybe a major or national event, it can increase. So my going forward, I am national chairwoman, but that ends in June. So I have the ability to be more flexible in my schedule and focus completely on the ABA, which I think is very, very important in this critical time because people don't have those organizations available to them as they did previously. So I think that this opportunity is the opportunity that if given the chance, that I will definitely maximize my time and flexibility.
Great, thank you so much. So as you two mentioned, ABA membership in general has been on the decline for the last decade. The division's membership was in decline before moving to the model that offers free membership. Why do you think association membership is declining among young people, and what can we do to reverse that trend? Lynette, you can go first.
Because there's so much on the website. It's a good thing because that means like everything's available. But as I mentioned, I think in my interview, just to get to this stage, when you're going to dinner and everything's on the menu, you don't know where to go. So making things a bit more accessible, highlighting certain things, making sure it's on an app, making sure it's quick. I think that that is the key as far as increasing membership, but there's gonna be a surge. I'm very optimistic. Like truly, they can't go to the other organization, they can get everything in one. So we need to really push that agenda. And so I think that there will be a surge in membership. Being that it's free, why wouldn't they?
Thank you. Taylor?
I think, as Lynette said, there's a ton of information on the website. So finding ways to make the benefits and opportunities that are specific to certain interests and certain types of people quick and easy to find would be really helpful. But I also think that as a society, we're in an age and a generation that is just much more short term in their focus. And instead of thinking about the long-term benefits of something and thinking, oh, when I graduate, I'm going to have these benefits, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, we think, well, what benefits me right now? So I think better communicating the short-term needs and finding ways to translate those into, and like better communicate the long-term needs to students would help increase membership.
Wonderful, thank you. So as you're both aware, the Law Student Division offers a set of premium benefits for students who pay $25 per year. Do you have any additional ideas of premium benefits that the Law Student Division could offer? And Taylor, you can go first.
Okay. I've actually thought quite a bit about this. There's actually a program that my university offers. It's called MAX through Access Lex. And it offers financial planning and budgeting education and programs to students. It's something that's, I think, hugely beneficial because one of the biggest concerns that students have is financial concerns, not only currently, but also long-term. What are we going to do with all of our loans? And it's something that, I mean, finances are always a concern for a society, and it's something that we're not always very well educated on how to manage them, what to do with our money, how to budget. Not everybody has that information, and not everybody really understands it. So having something that makes it, gives you quick and easy tools to learn how to do it is really huge. And I think it would be a really great benefit for students.
Great, thank you. Lynette?
I truly believe that there is a lot there as far as premium benefits are concerned, but maybe communicating them more effectively. If I had to choose one, even though I think that we have a lot, I think that one would be with the change that's going on in the environment, access to ebooks. People are going to need that, and providing cost-effective ways to access those books. So it speaks to finances as well. If they've already bought books, or if they're going to be buying books further, they're going to need something to access online. And so if the ABA can push that agenda again and say, here, I know this is the need, and we have a discounted partnership with whatever company that we know that law schools across the nation use, and this will give you a discount on your books.
Wonderful, thank you. So this position has a dual role as the only voting law student member of the broader ABA's Standing Committee on Membership. This group consists of several high-level experienced leaders who make decisions about the ABA membership. Tell us about your experience working with high-level leaders, executives, or experienced leaders. Lynette, you can start.
Sure. I have interned with the Louisiana State Bar Association. In that capacity, I was invited after my internship to work in the diversity subcommittee. And I mentioned this a little bit in my video, so I won't go too much into it. But working there, I had the opportunity to work with judges and attorneys within the Louisiana area, which is high profile as the only non-attorney on there. So the fact that they welcome me into that community or that committee is a big deal. But I'm also an executive myself, working as a director of finance and operations for a local nonprofit in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. So I'm always looking and working with people in high profile positions within Louisiana. So I'm very, very comfortable with it.
Thank you. Taylor?
My experience working with leadership and executives first started when I was working with the Entrepreneurial Initiative, working with entrepreneurs who are future CEOs, and as well as managing an investor fund of people who are either current executives or retired executives. And then in my last position at a startup, I worked directly with the executive suite to manage a variety of projects and changes across the company. I also worked with heads of different government branches and government contracting, anyone from the major on campus to the two-star general of medical command. So I'm very comfortable with working with executives and handling that situation.
Thank you. And then Taylor, you can go first on this question. Can you tell us about a time when you've had to recruit people to join you for a particular program?
Yes. While I was working at the Entrepreneurial Initiative, I was given the honor and responsibility of starting the inaugural business plan competition on campus. It was something that had never been done before, and it was extremely exciting, but it also meant that I had to convince people to get involved in it. I had to convince students that it would be a good idea to apply to be in it, but also to volunteer, because I couldn't do it by myself, and we were a very small department. So I had to go around to different classes, speak to students, tell them about the benefits of it, why it was a great opportunity for them, how it would help them in the future, and convince them that they should be involved in it.
Thank you. Lynette?
Sorry, I'm going to ask you to repeat the question again. Sorry. You're on mute.
Can you tell us about a time when you've had to recruit people to join you for a particular program?
Oh, sure. So I'll defer back to my leadership role within the sorority. If you know anything about Greek life, you know it's all about recruitment. So we do a lot of recruitment nationally and in our local areas within our state. And so as a national chairwoman and a board of director, which is where I have served in that organization, we develop programming, event planning, policies that are inclusive so that we can recruit a diverse and group of members throughout the nation. And so this is a daily task for us and a daily strategic goal, in a sense, part of the strategic goal going forward. So I understand what it is to recruit, and I don't mind being aggressive yet friendly.
Great, thank you. What is a favorite life motto that you have? Lynette, you can start.
Do the best that you can, because that's all that you can. And that's what I get from my dad. Growing up, there was never a stress about grades, about the things that I'm doing. He always spoke to me and my sister in a positive light, no matter if we brought home the A or if we brought home the B, if we came in first or if we came in second. And I think that's important. The question he always asked was, did you try your best? And I could always answer yes. And then the next question is, did you learn something so that you can do better next time? So my motto is exactly that, as my dad shared with my sister and I live it every day.
Thank you. Taylor?
Mine is a newer one for me. When I moved to North Carolina a while back, I heard the phrase "no grit, no pearl," which refers to how pearls are created in oysters. There's a gritty texture that's in there, and by rubbing up against the grit, it then is shined into a pearl. And for me, that means that you're going to go through hard times. You're going to have times in your life when it's like sandpaper up against your skin. You're not going to love the process. It's going to be really, really difficult. But in the end, if you are able to keep a positive attitude, in the end, you have a beautiful thing that comes from it.
Thank you. These are both very important things to keep in mind as we move forward into the coming weeks. Last but not least, a very serious question. If you were an ice cream flavor, what would it be and why? Taylor, you can start.
I think this is the hardest question you've asked. You know, I feel like I would be Blue Moon. I don't know if that's something that everybody knows about, but it's basically vanilla ice cream that's blue, because it's unexpected, and blue is my favorite color.
Great, thank you. Lynette?
Yeah, I would be Rocky Road, and I would be Rocky Road because chocolate is delicious. Who doesn't love chocolate? And it is a little nutty. So in life, where you need to be serious for a lot of things, it's okay to be nutty. And so the combination of the two is cool.
Great, thank you both. That concludes our question portion. So I'm going to give you both a chance to give a closing statement. Lynette, you started with opening statements first, so I'm going to let Taylor start her closing statement first.
Awesome. First, I'd like to thank you guys and Lynette for being on this call during such a crazy time, and everyone who was involved in setting this up and those who have been involved in the entire process. Regardless of what may come, this has really been a wonderful experience that I'm extremely grateful for. So thank you to all of you. I'm committed to growing the ABA, its membership, and its benefits. I believe very strongly in collaboration and sharing thoughts and ideas, so I would love to hear anyone's thoughts or perspectives on how we can best benefit their students at their campus. I have a passion, a drive, and a heart for people. So even if I don't win this election, I plan to continue to be as involved as I can with the ABA and to work to improve membership. I think that the benefits and opportunities it offers students are something that everyone really needs to be aware of and needs to have access to if they can. To those who have taken the time to watch this entire video and those who will vote for me, I sincerely thank you. Y'all are taking part in the future of the ABA, and that's both very exciting and a great responsibility. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Lynette?
Yep, I would like to say thank you again to everyone who's a part of this. I would like to thank those that are watching as well. I will say this again, I am Lynette Richardson, running for vice chair. I'm extremely excited about this opportunity. I think that this is a moment where we could be game changers, and I want to be a part of that changing of the game because, as I mentioned before, so much is happening, but this is the place to do it. Like being a law student, being a part of the ABA with everything that it has to offer, we can do this. We can guide this nation as leaders, transformative leaders, into the next generation of what it looks like to be a law student in the things that are changing. So I hope that I can get your support. I thank you again, and I look forward to continued communication.
Great, thank you both so much. This was wonderful. I believe that is all, unless anyone, Zach or anyone from Sarah's team has anything more to add.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Elections Committee, and Sarah, fantastic job moderating, and candidates, thank you all so much for taking the time. I know this is really important to the voters, so we really appreciate you taking the time to do it and giving such thoughtful answers.
All right, thank you both for everything. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will be in touch soon.
You guys too, thank you.